Welcome back, everybody, to I believe it's week 7. My name is Lost. I am joined with Coinflip casting these games tonight. We're going to be watching Rip Harambe versus SNC Coven Knights. Yeah, both these teams kind of need to take this game. Coven Knights more so than Rip Harambe, but Coven Knights kind of going to be the underdogs for this set. But I believe in them. I think they can do it.
Yes, it is IBSG, and any team can win on any night. It's going to be a tough task, though, for Coven Knights. This Harambe team is looking strong and ready to fight.
Yeah, I mean, they're certainly ready, going straight into the draft. I'm gonna see a Nocturne Bam come out from Harambe. It looks like they want to shut down that potential, backline threats that they have access to. Coven Knight's gonna respond with the Viego, potentially, eliminating these team fights.
This is just, I believe it's a Zyra support, but these are very jungle-centric bans coming out, and the Alawi coming out, just staple top lane hated champion.
I mean, Ari is gonna go also, just being a threat in those team fights. Looks like Rip Harambe is gonna lock in that Thresh for the B1, just kind of solidify their support pick. It's not something you see very often, considering that supports tend to have worse matchups than ADCs, but I mean, certainly if they're comfortable on the Thresh, they're allowed to just slam that early.
Yeah, this is going to be perfect. First Thresh game, I believe, on the season. From what I can see looking at my sheet. And then Yorick, Ziggs, two completely different style of champions that both like to hit the tower. So they're going to have a lot of tower taking potential with these first two picks. I'm not too familiar with Rip Harambe, as I have not seen them a lot. But I believe they are going to want to team fight more. They seem like they would just much rather fist fight you than play in side lanes.
Yeah, and I mean, Coven Knight's going to, kind of recognize that in their draft and play towards those side lanes, like you said. Probably just going to attempt to split the map and avoid playing into Harambe's strong suits, which I think is a very smart call on their part.
Let's see what this third pick is. Koala, I have a document that I wrote, and Fifi is looking over it before I release it, but I went over a couple things, and Koala is one of the top laners that has the most picks out of anyone in the entire league. He's picked, I believe, 11 different champions over 10, or 10 different champions over 11 games. So I think first picking him was interesting here, considering his depth of pool.
Especially when you're playing for these champions, like, you definitely don't want to be stuck in a losing matchup, that's for sure. Otherwise, it's just going to feel really bad going to those side lanes in the later game. But I mean, Coven Knights responds to the Volibear with the Lux, which makes enough sense considering that, Albion's going to be your best bet at stopping this Volibear engage if he doesn't have ultimate available. But I'm kind of wondering where this Ashe ban is coming from, because typically, you won't see Ziggs go towards the middle lane. Instead, it'll be more towards the ADC role. So maybe they assume that the Ziggs will go mid?
Yeah, that's what it's looking like with the Ashe ban. Geb does have a game on Ziggs this season, so it could possibly be mid lane Ziggs. I don't think that Yasuo has any Ziggs bot game, so that's pretty good read by them, recognizing that he doesn't have any games on it. I don't like the Rek'Sai ban. I think Rek'Sai is just not the great spot, regardless of who's piloting him. So I think that ban could be used better anywhere else.
Well, yeah, especially if you consider the draft that Coven Knights is trying to go for. It's not really like this super pick-heavy comp. You don't need a jungler that's super mobile and is able to, spread pressure on the map. You just need someone that's a good anchor. And, I mean, they kind of show that with the Amumu. Amumu being very strong clear is kind of just able to sit in one area and excel in team fights regardless of the score. And the response is going to be Sejuani, which is interesting because you're pushing Volibear into the top side. I think that's a good matchup for Volibear, right?
Yes, he can shred down the wave relatively quickly with his passive if he can get a stack. Um, I don't know. I don't. He doesn't have a great threat onto the maiden once it's alive, but he can pull it quite quickly.
So yeah, that Ziggs is going to end up going towards the mid lane. I mean, unless they want to push it support and push the Lux mid. But, I mean, Yasuo is going to be a little tough for Ziggs, I think. It's not a great matchup for Ziggs. Going just off of draft, I mean, her Harambe's draft, definitely very potent. Something that you have to be careful for, especially around these team fights. You know, Yasuo and Sejuani having so much synergy with each other. You could see Sejuani hit the mid lane early to try to, you know, silence the Ziggs a little bit, or potentially go towards the top side of this map. There's not going to be very much interaction on this bottom side, aside from when Thresh is able to, you know, kind of facilitate those picks.
Yeah, I think the Xayah pick is really good from Coven Knights though. You're gonna have a volley bear diving at you, Thresh trying to hook you, a Sejuani ult coming at you, Yasuo is going in. The Xayah ability to just dismiss that by pressing R is gonna be really strong in these team fights.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately it just comes down to if Coven Knights is allowed to get their game plan going and is able to snowball, you know, the side lane pressure that they're going to be able to get with Yorick and potentially knocking down this T1 mid as early as possible. That's kind of just going to be how they're going to have to play their game, is take those towers, extend pressure on the map, and then potentially look to secure these objectives with vision control. But yeah, I mean, Rip Harambe isn't a team that's, you know, going to sit down and like kind of let that happen. So I'm really curious how they're going to go about using Briar on the map and just kind of looking to extend the pressure that he's able to get, you know, on Sejuani and potentially look to either get his top or mid ahead. But he does have 3 lanes that he's able to play around here. All 3 of his lanes are super gankable.
Yes.
I think that'll be something that we'll definitely want to watch, especially considering that, you know, AJ Harambe is on the upper end of the teams on their side, so Coven Knights is probably going to be on the back foot for most of this game. But like you said, it is IBSG, anything could happen, and should be interesting regardless.
Yeah, I do think the Moo feels a little bit out of place, though. He's the only person with a go-in button compared to the rest of them, so unless he's hitting 5-man ults, he's probably just gonna be on the back end getting bursted down.
Well, honestly, use him as like more of a deterrent than like an engage tool. If we look at Coven Knights team comp, they have a lot of long-range interaction with the Ziggs and the Lux, and Amumu having the ability to shred that magic resist on its passive could be very useful, especially if you catch the Sejuani, the Yasuo, or the Volley Bear when they go in with the Curse of the Sad Mummy, and you just hit it like a Ziggs full combo or Lux full combo. That's not gonna feel good. Your HP is gonna go away very fast.
We will see, indeed.
But draft comes to an end, and you know the players begin to get ready to start this game. I think, yeah, it should be very reliant on how Rip Harambe, you know, is able to extend their lead with their jungle, because he will have a lead. That's just how his clear is going to end up going. If they're able to capitalize on that pressure that all their lanes generate by having the winning lanes that they have, it's going to come down to just how well Briar is able to kind of extend the lanes and get them further ahead and potentially look to close out this game.
Yep. Wonder, do you think that the Lux is going to go a very poke-heavy build, or do you think she's going to go something with a little more sustained damage due to the 3 tanks on the side of Merc, not Merc, sorry, on the side of AGRH?
Assume, considering the lane that Ziggs is in, he is probably going to opt out of less burst damage and move more into favor of the burn, like the Leandries and the Blackfire. But we could see them both stack up on that. I just think it's a little bit more realistic for Lux to potentially lead into the Luden's Companion and just go for the burst.
Yes, we Billy, are we going to a short break?
I think we will be going to a short break in just a second. Do you have anything else that you want to cover though, before we cut off and get ready for spectator delay?
I mean, the top lane match is by far, I believe, the most interesting. I think whoever wins the first all in will just determine this lane. And the Volibear build, I wonder if he's gonna go the full AP build, because he is other than Sejuani and I guess Thresh technically, he's the solo AP on that team. So curious to go if he goes the Rod of Ages build with like the on hit with like I believe it's the Navori Flicker Blades, or if he's gonna go something like Nashor's Tooth into Riftmaker.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely something to consider, but as you said, it is going to come down to who wins that lane. But we do have a short spectator delay, so I believe we're going to go off to intermission right now, and we will see you guys as soon as we are able to return.
To Summoner's Rift.
All right, welcome back everyone to Game 1, AG Rip Harambe versus SNC Coven Knights. Should be a very interesting game. Top lane is going to be where we're looking in terms of, potential discrepancies or, leads that will end up happening. But both teams going to opt into standard 5-point, aside from Sejuani hovering the Caitlyn here. It's going to be quite interesting positioning, considering that, Caitlyn could already see most of that. So Sejuani's just kind of dead vision there.
Minions have spawned.
Volibear trying to get a little poke off early, not gonna land anything. I think AG Don't Eat Bees is gonna look for a ward here to try to get some vision on the Amumu pathing. but Ziggs is just gonna go for just try to deny it. If Yasuo can get ahead in this lane, Ziggs just is not gonna be able to play this lane.
Yeah, I mean that would explain why he went grasp. Is going to have the sustain in lane, but also that stacking HP is definitely not going to be something that you can really ignore. Grasp very potent at taking a lead and getting you farther ahead. It looks like the AG bot lane is going to end up playing for their level 2 here and pushing out this wave as much as possible, as well as getting as much poke as possible, abusing the range that Caitlyn provides. Is going to end up taking quite a large chunk of HP off of Boogie there.
Caitlyn is very good at bullying people out of lane, and we should continue to see that, especially with the Thresh always looming.
Aside from the poke in lane, though, I don't think that, Coven Knights really wants to start any large-scale fights in the early game, considering the power level of their team comp just doesn't really allow it. Aside from Amumu, their damage is rather lackluster.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna get a lot of clearing between the two junglers this game, and letting the lanes develop.
We see both junglers, pathing towards that top side. Potential fight will break out when this scuttle spawns in the next, 15 seconds or so. Both of them, completing their clears as fast as they can. Amumu gonna be there probably first. But, we saw on the top side that AG was able to get those wards down. Saw him on the Raptors and the red. So they know he's gonna be there. All it takes is Don't Eat Bees to get Prio in this mid lane. And roam up, and that fight is not going to be easy for them. Blade's going to go out, bind in response. Doesn't quite get enough damage, but it's going to be a good trade for the side of AG. Volley rotating down to this fight. Fight's going to break out. Volley going to go for the trade on the Yorick. It looks like there's going to be some damage down. Fighting on the Scuttle Crab. Moo's going to be winning that trade down there. The 20 forced to jump out. Volley versus Yorick here. Yorick ends up flashing. Volley still has flash available. Moonwood's hit a collab, so that's going to be first blood for the side of, SNC Coven Knights, and that's going to feel really good if you're Coven Knights. But fight's still going. It looks like Zig's going to end up trying to flash for this kill. Doesn't have the Q available, no bouncing bombs. But one kill is really all you need there, especially considering that you are not the stronger team early. That is going to feel good, because that's going to hurt Downfall in that top lane.
Yes. For Downfall, the important thing is he gave it to the jungler. The jungler did die. Or the jungler did get the kill. And it's not going to make the lane as hard to play as it would if he got the first blood.
Yeah, in my head, considering the wave states and stuff, the hook's going to land on the Lux, and that is going to end up being a death sentence for the Lux there. But they might be able to get the Thresh in response. Not quite. That is going to be a, return frag from an amazing hook from Perfect Build. That is definitely going to feel good.
Yes, and Caitlyn is starting to build quite the CS lead in this lane, along with Yasuo in his lane. So the gold is going to be in favor of AGRH after that kill from the bot lane.
Yeah, Mumu is prepared on this bot side, claiming both scuttles for himself. Really needs to, just kind of acquire this farm and potentially help out Geb in the mid lane here. Because Don't Eat Bees is putting the pressure on him, and it's not feeling great.
So this dragon, I think if you are either team, you want the grubs. York, of course, with 6 grubs is very good at taking towers. But Volibear also in a side lane can be a menace to towers. So and Yasuo as well.
Yeah, I mean, those grubs kind of, gonna be the prize for them. But it does look like AG Rip Harambe is gonna end up opting to start this dragon, especially with their bot lane recalling from the side of Coven Knights. They know that this is kind of free, and it looks like Amethyst is going to end up trading this and just opting to go, claim the grubs in the top side. Or it looks like Qual is actually going to rotate for that, and Amethyst is going to go back to farming the Raptors there. That's
the Hextech Dragon being the first dragon is gonna be good for SNC just because they're not. It means it won't be a big soul, and I think Hextech Dragon is still the best soul in the game. Wow, watching Caitlyn
that is a rough trade in that bot side, but yeah, I agree. I think Hextech Soul is very powerful, but there is still a couple other souls to consider. Ocean Soul providing the sustain that AG Rip Harambe would end up needing to, survive extended trades with SNC, and Infernal Soul, vice versa, would make SNC just have the raw damage, the raw burst potential that they need to, get through the front lines of AG Rip Harambe.
They traded the first objectives. Coven Knights got the first 3 grubs, which means AG should set their sights on the next set of grubs.
Yeah, they kind of have to.
Yeah.
X Dragon's Infernal though, so that's going to be Infernal Soul off the board, but still a good, Drake to be able to claim. So if, SNC has to, make the trade to claim the dragon over the grubs, it's not that bad to lose out on.
Looking at the CS leads in each lane, it's gonna be about a 20 CS lead in the top and bot lanes, and mid lane it's about a 10 CS lead. So AG right now just doing a good job of getting the small leads from just being the better farmers, being better at CSing. So
yeah, those gold spikes are definitely going to be what, turns the fights in their favor, especially if you get this Caitlyn on a collector early or whatever item she wants to build. Yasuo needs his items to be super potent as well. Wally sure doesn't hate having items, but once you get that Roa, the sooner you get the Roa online, the better.
yes.
Big fight's gonna break out on this top side. Volley just opting into like a short trade with the York, but is actually gonna extend it. Maiden's still alive. It's not gonna feel great. A little bit of HP being lost at a time it's not gonna feel great. That is going to be big punish from York.
Volibear is going to need to ping his jungler up here to kill this Maiden pretty soon, or he's just gonna get a lot of his tower wasted.
That's going to be a Featherstorm forced out here. Box is attempted to be used to, secure the kill on Xayah, but Featherstorm ends up coming out in response. All in all, very strong hook from Perfect Build. Is going to be forced to use the flash though, but if we're trading that for ADC Featherstorm, I think that's really good.
Would like to bring some attention to the bot lane tower as well. Rip Harambe has taken 3 tower plates and is almost done with the 4th. So showing good control over the Caitlyn and doing the good job of exerting pressure with this champion, which is what you want when you're picking Caitlyn.
Yeah, definitely. Gets the early kill, forces pressure on the tower, doesn't really give up space at all. And since Amethyst hasn't really been down there that much, isn't there to really contest it. The bot lane for SNC just kind of has to accept it. And as we just saw, Thresh is able to force out flashes just by, prepping the hook and, showing initiative and threatening kill potential. But that is going to be the first tower going down 11 minutes in the game just about for the side of AG Rip Harambe. That Ziggs bomb is going to blast him the complete wrong direction. Yasuo is going to be able to put the pressure down, uses the last breath, doesn't quite confirm the kill, gets the flash instead. Curse's Sad Mummy doesn't quite connect to the Yasuo. Yasuo going to be, trying to get himself out of that position. Mega Inferno Bomb comes out, and they end up getting the pick onto Amethyst there, trading 1 for 0. Yeah, feels really good for AG, because now you get to take these grubs for free and potentially rotate into the bot side for this dragon.
Yeah, they are just getting a bit quite the gold lead here. Almost I can't do math in my head like that.
2.5k right now, 2,500 gold lead at the moment. Very, very large amount of gold. Definitely nothing to be scoffed at. But they are in a very commanding position. Being able to rotate your mid laner down to the bot lane and not feel bad about it this early into this game, we're only 12 minutes in. And Yasuo is now permanently moving to a side lane because that tower's down. Is going to feel really good, because now this Caitlyn gets the pressure out the Ziggs as well. It does look like SNC Coven Knights is going to claim the Infernal Dragon for themselves, but AG doesn't want them to get out scot-free, so they're going to opt into extending pressure with Briar. That's going to be Final Spark coming out. Hook Death Sentence does connect on the Amumu. That's going to be a pick. That's going to be the last breath coming down on top of the box, and that is going to be a, Amethyst going down for the second time in the past 2 minutes. That's going to be the Glacial Prison, the flash engage from Briar. That's going to be a pick onto Geb as well. Fight breaks out on the top side. Maiden comes down. Stormbringer has not gone out yet, actually. It's an option available to Downfall if he wants to try to fight, but I don't think he's in a good enough position. York is going to end up flashing out of the Stormbringer. Starts a trade on to Downfall. Downfall goes down after using Stormbringer there.
Yeah, I think if you're the volley, you just kind of want to run away there. I know it sucks dropping a wave and letting him crash into your tower like that, but you're now just gonna lose the wave anyways and give 300 gold over to your opponent.
Yeah, and I mean, Koala is now going to become the center of SNC's game plan, being up as much gold as he is, putting this tower under pressure. I don't really see another win condition for them aside from just letting Koala do his thing.
Yeah, he's gonna get this entire tower here. Not First Blood tower, since they did take the bot lane tower already, but gonna be a good chunk of gold going over to Koala.
The kill, the wave, all 5 plates, and tower gold is going to probably set him just past his mythic. Right, I guess first item, no mythics anymore. They probably want to opt to move him down towards the bot side, considering that pushing the top side is going to be a little bit problematic for him. But it does look like Ziggs is occupying the space in the bottom lane right now. So Koala is going to opt to go back towards that top side, potentially prepare to have himself at this Herald fight.
Yeah, he came back with a Triforce, full boots, and a long sword. So he's going to have quite the advantage.
Yeah, that is going to feel very good. Especially considering that Volibear had to go Roa first item, which means that it's not quite a full item yet, because it's going to take time to stack up, obviously. They might not be able to contest this, but it does look like AG is going to opt into contesting this, and SNC is just going to give it. And instead, Amethyst is going to rotate towards his bot side to just attempt to claim his camps and potentially look on this Yasuo on the bottom lane.
Yeah, I think having your Ziggs down in the bot side is just, it kind of hurts them. Because you want your York in the lane where he can just push it out and take the towers. And him being on the side with 3-4 people, he's never going to get past that point where you want him to be.
Especially if you're not using him to contest that Herald. It would make sense if you were taking him to contest the Herald and potentially wanted him at the fight, considering the amount of gold that he has. But now you just kind of have him stuck in a lane with no tier 1 turret as your tier 1 goes down in middle. And your Ziggs is kind of just forced to play safe and give farm anyways in the bot lane. But that is going to end up being mid tier 1 for the side of AG. Securing a little bit more of a gold lead. It's going to be up to 2.7 thousand, despite Koala having, a good chunk of his team's gold at 6.3k. But it does look like, 2,000 gold leads in bot lane. Jungle is relatively even, but that bot lane gold lead for the side of AG is going to feel pretty devastating if you're SNC here.
Yeah, Caitlyn just keeps getting further and further ahead, doing the almost what Ziggs wants to, rotate around and take towers, but a little more effectively. The dragon's gonna spawn in 30 seconds, so we will see how SNC wants to play this. If they want to just give and allow the Yorick to open up a little further, or if they're gonna full 5-man contest this.
Yeah, I mean, AG moving downfall down to this middle lane to potentially increase the numbers advantage here to secure this dragon or potentially look for picks. Is going to leave Yorick unguarded in that top lane. That's going to be the flash. Death sentence from Thresh connects on the Lux and ends up in a pick. The Glacial Prison is also going to come out. Amumu is caught. Cyrus the Sad Mummy is not quite enough to save him. That is going to be Major taking that Rift Herald and running it straight back into the wall behind him. You know, I'm not really certain why they moved Geb up to this top lane as well. All it did was, you know, kind of mess with that team fight and just gave AG a window to go in and pick off the threats.
Yeah, I think they were trying to play for the tower since they didn't want to contest the dragon, but the problem with that was you did it too soon. They were just able to run your other 3 members.
Yeah, I mean, even with Koala hitting all of his abilities, you know, Bali can kind of still just walk away. He's not that squishy. He'll just give the tier 2 on the top side, and I mean, they got what they wanted, but at what cost?
Yeah, like I said, if you just trade the dragon for that, I think you're happy at this point in the game. You only have one dragon. You're only down 1 dragon, but since they traded, I believe was it 3 kills or was it 2 kills?
2 kills and a dragon.
2 kills? Yeah, the 600 gold they took from the tower just kind of got negated by the fight.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be Chemtech Dragon. Not the worst dragon to lose, but definitely is still going to have an impact on the game state as a whole. But SNC opting to attempt to, you know, burn down this tower. Final Spark comes out. Infernal Bomb goes down just to chunk out their Thresh a little bit. Potentially dissuade them from going for the engage as they attempt to, you know, knock down this tier 1 mid and equalize the map a little bit.
Moon's currently catching the bot wave on Vision, so
Downfall is on a flank, hits the stun on the Ziggs, puts pressure down. Ziggs flash is going to be burned, Lux flash as well. Caitlyn just, you know, an unstoppable force. That Glacial Prison's going to connect onto Yasuo, killing him, and that is going to be the ace in the hole onto Ziggs, but doesn't quite connect, but Geb still goes down. When we're looking for the engage death sentence, Box goes down as well. Pops the Curse of the Sad Mummy, looking for this Thresh, gets the 1 kill. But they have the ability to refrag him, and they trade 1 for 1 there. But that is going to be super favorable for the side of AG.
yeah, I think if you're gonna show your Mumu on Vision on the bot side, you can't step up like that.
No.
They knew there was no jungler anywhere in sight to help them.
Burning his flash with the final spark in conjunction doesn't quite have enough damage to, you know, patch out this Caitlyn. But that is going to be both sums off of Major there.
This should be big for the next fight. If they can make use out of that, it'll be worth it. They're gonna get this mid tier 1 here, but
I think Don't Eat Bees is trading out this tier 2 on the bot side though, which is a significant amount more gold.
yeah, they continue to just keep trading down this game, and it's not what you want when you're behind like this.
Nope, and that will set them, you know, the 4.3 thousand gold behind that they are now. SNC has quite a bit of ground to make up if they want to be able to, you know, take this game home.
And they keep also overloading a side of the map, and I don't know what the objective is.
I think I'd be fine with them overloading a side of the map if it wasn't the side that Yorick wants to be on.
Yeah, like the Lux and the Mumu were just hovering the Yorick there, and it's like you pick this character to be a 1v1 menace to the side lane, and then when if he's ever targeted by more than 2 characters, you just do something on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, like, realistically, he's not going to lose the 1v1 to anybody, let alone a Yasuo, right? So
Yes.
why do we, like you said, if anybody else goes over there, odds are he wins as if it's a 1v2, but if it's anybody else, then that's just a free objective on the other side of the map. They need to be playing their spread here, but Volleyball going to look for the engage. Lux not having quite enough peel. Featherstorm goes out, Stormbringer goes down, but the pole ends up catching him. They end up getting the pick onto the Lux. That's going to be Inferno Bomb down. Caitlyn putting out enough damage to, be able to threaten the rest of this engage. And that is going to be an extra kill for the side of AG there. And that was like, that's pretty good. Yasuo going in for the aggressive trade, uses the final breath. York's going to land the cage. Maiden slowly chipping away at the HP. Yasuo having no cooldowns left, aside from dash to just, kind of ride the wave and get out. Volibear is there to respond. York going to be slowly stacking up these minions, potentially go back and fight here. Cage goes down to protect Maiden. Looks like York just kind of wants to get out. Everyone's there, ace in the hole into York. All 5 members of AG are there to, catch this York and turn this into an objective for them. That's going to feel really good to get that shutdown onto Yasuo as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Yorick, you don't ever want to fight, especially after you just watched your team lose in the side lane. They're gonna trade this mid lane tier 2 for them overcommitting on the Yorick, which is exactly how we talked earlier. You would like to play the matchup, but they lost the earlier encounter, which means it's gonna be really rough map wise to do anything now without your strong side laner.
Yeah, I mean, Volibear looking for this aggressive play on Ziggs in the top lane. The rest of the team for SNC is there to respond, but Volley doesn't overcommit. He stays cautious. Even with that tier 2 mid, it was a positive trade, like gold trade for SNC. But like you said, the pressure that is generated from your main threat going down just isn't worth like the 100 gold difference that you got. Final Spark's gonna come out of a Volibear, but doesn't quite, connect to its tenacity.
See,
it does. Go ahead.
If I was SNC right now, I would be saying, Volibear, go touch the tower and just starting this Baron, just to see if you can force either, not Volley, sorry, Yorick to go touch the tower, just to see if you can get something going. Like, if you can't...
Fight's going to break out on this bottom side. Last breath is going to be used. I don't think York really has any way to get out of this. They are going to find the pick. This is exactly... They've shown 2 people bot. If you were going to pick a time as SNC to go for this Baron, like you were saying, it's going to be right now after, you see the jungler in the bot side of the map.
Yeah, Sejuani being down there would just, for most, not most, but some teams would just be an immediate call to just start the Baron. And now Ziggs TPing, now they've lost all of their pressure. And now if you're AG, you can just go start this Baron.
And that is exactly what they're going to do.
Zayas being down here showing is not great for them because they have no real damage.
The entire SNC team showing on this Yasuo on the bottom lane, and he's just gonna sit here and kind of play with them a little bit. Spend as much of their time as possible and potentially not even die for it. Although Mumu is there to, kind of catch him out.
It means they're just gonna give the Baron.
Yeah, Baron is going to end up going over to the side of AG, and I'm sure Donny Bees is going to be feeling very good. And Downfall is going to confirm a refrag onto that Xayah there, just, making it a little bit sweeter for them. Caitlyn there to kind of help him in this fight. Is going to end up picking 2 more kills, and, with the Baron, that could easily become game.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the York was doing teleporting top here. I don't think it is worth it at that point. You got the wave pushed in a little bit while your base is going to start crumbling very, very shortly. So,
a little bit of an interesting build path from him as well. Opting into the Haunting, guys. I don't know if this is some forbidden tech where you go into Riftmaker here, but it could be something else as well.
It is a Leandry's build. So essentially his ghouls scale. I believe they scale off AP or something like that.
I thought
So
it was
he.
totality.
Let me click on his portrait.
Because I remember the old lethality build where you would go, you know, Eclipse into Duskblade into the slow item that used to be pretty evil, but I've never seen the AP version of it.
Yeah, his E scales off of AP. So a lot of people will go burn. It's kind of like you would with Shaco, just to burn and be annoying with your ability. It's not optimal, but it does. It functions the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, considering the nature of AG's comp as well, it makes sense. The fight's going to break out top and mid. Volibear being infinitely stronger than Mumu is just going to walk him down 4 levels up. Stormbreaker's the tower. Curse's Stab Mummy goes out, but it's not going to be enough to save him. And Downfall's going to end up claiming the jungler's life there. Geb is still just in this bot lane, attempting to, you know, equalize the map a little bit. Descent ends up landing on the Lux. It's going to be the final threat connecting on the 2 people. York's going to end up going down to the death sentence as well. That is going to be a considerable amount of kills and gold for the side of AG there.
Yeah, I mean, you're like we keep saying, you're trading down. Gev being down there, all he really did was secure a tower, which got them gold, yes, but at the same time, didn't really net to anything.
You're losing both of your mid and your top inhib. Like, that's not gonna feel good at all, especially giving 4 kills. This Caitlyn is super strong.
Yes, 9-0 and 5. Another thing I'd like to point out is you no longer have a lane for your York to split through. All 3 tier 2s are down, means he's gonna be very, very close to the enemy base, and at this point of the game, your strongest member being, I think gold wise is the Amumu. I'd have to look. Actually, the Yorick still, but kill wise, it's the Amumu.
York sold his haunting, guys. He decided it wasn't worth it.
It was. Should have thought of that before he bought it.
Before you spent the 1,300 gold.
Yes.
It's going to be very, very hard for SNC to be able to, you know, make their way back in this game. AG having taken a very commanding lead, sitting up about 10k gold right now. Gonna be probably more these towers fall.
Yeah, they're gonna pad their stats here. They're just gonna take the dragon, get their soul. They're gonna take the top lane tier 3, or bot lane tier 3 is what it looks like, and then just close this one out pretty methodically.
No, can't really hate on them too much. I'm not going for the risky play. Instead, just kind of, you know, closing the game out the way that they know how, which is to start a team fight and win through comp diff.
Yes, I think just letting the waves crash and letting your Caitlyn auto the tower is just the simplest way to do this.
That sentence is going to land on a mover there, picking him off. Box goes down to, you know, threaten. A little bit of damage. Curse of Stab Mummy is not enough to save him. Thresh, in quite a precarious spot, is going to end up sacrificing his life. Final Spark comes out, not going to do very much damage to the Volibear and the Sejuani there. Your backline is just going to be terrorized by this volley. Stormbringer comes down, doesn't quite hit the tower, doesn't turn it off. It's going to be Inferno Bomb going out. Doesn't quite connect with the Volibear himself. Caitlyn is going to find the kill onto York there. Pressure out a little bit more damage onto Ziggs. That's going to be Ace in the Hole going down onto Ziggs. Large chunk of HP going down. Yasuo finishing the kill for her. And that is going to be game for the side of AG Rip Harambe.
Very clean game from Rip Harambe. Only losing 1 dragon and 6 scrubs. They lost a few towers, but I mean, they were always trading up whenever those towers fell on the map. So you're always okay sacrificing those towers for the game, essentially. And closing this one out with a 13k gold lead. That's about as clean as you could ask for.
Yeah, seriously. They really went into that game with a game plan and just played around it really well. On the contrary, SNC seemed a little bit lost going into this game one. Potentially was on a comp they weren't exactly comfortable with, especially first picking the York puts him into a rather large predicament. He piloted it very well, not super terrible on York's part. Ended up winning his lane, claiming the tower and stuff. But this bot lane was just so far behind all game, and I mean, it just really wasn't there to alleviate some of the pressure that they ended up, kind of experiencing.
I wonder if they're gonna try to run something similar back, or if they're gonna go with a more team fight centric comp in game two.
Personally, I'd like to see them on more of a, you know, potentially aggressive comp, just something that could let them, get a lead rather than have to wait for one to come to them. But only time could tell. I believe we'll be going into an intermission while the next lobby gets set up, and we will be right back with the next chimp select for game two. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Week 7 matchup. Rip Harambe versus Coven Knights. Coming off the back of a very dominant game for Rip Harambe. Took their lead, ran with it. Very simple game plan, and they were able to execute it pretty much flawlessly.
Yeah, they had a very simple plan to execute, and they executed well on it, making plays around their strong team fight comp. Just around about every fight, the big fight that they took was a big win for them.
Yeah, I mean, Coven Knight's gonna have some big shoes to fill going into the second game. They really need this win for the set of games because if they don't, I don't think they have any chance of making their way into playoffs with only 3 weeks left in this in the main set of games. The most that they could go would be 4-5 at the moment. So they really need to take this series if they want to be able to make it into the later rounds in tournament.
Yeah, we're getting into the sweat heavy weeks for some of these teams that are in the mix, where the games start becoming more and more important just due to needing the games more than you did early. Especially with Coven Knights not taking a series off of the 3 that happened pre-divisional play. They really have to play well in their division, and getting into this crunch time, if they can't win this series, they have to win out if they want a shot.
Yeah, it really is just do or die for a lot of these, lower seeded teams at the moment because, your matches are not going to get very much easier as the season goes on. Like you said, a lot of these teams are going to be attempting to perform at their best because the matches mean so much more later into the season. But I still have hope for them. I think that they could put on a show for us, and hopefully they're able to, clear a little bit of space and get their name out in this second game for tonight. It does look like we're going to go into draft here. Nocturne is still going to be off the table for the side of Rip Harambe. Coven Knight's not adjusting their bans yet, going to keep the Viego out of the hands of Rip Harambe here. They do not want to see Briar on Viego here.
I think if you're Coven Knights, a Caitlyn ban would be good, just so Yasuo has an easier time in that lane, matching AD carries, just so he's just not completely zoned off of the wave the entire time, it feels like. Or maybe if you leave the Caitlyn up, you pick something like that can engage on her and not just allow her to stand behind a wave and free hit everything.
Yeah, that Caitlyn was seriously problematic in game 1, but the bans still haven't changed really at all, aside from that Yorick ban being taken away from Coven Knights. Wow.
I think that's I think the Yorick ban is not great. I know it's annoying to lane against, and I'm sure Downfall hated every second of it, but I think leaving it up was fine because they seem to not know how to play around it. They're gonna run the Thresh back, which is seemed to work pretty well for them last time.
I'm surprised, Coven Knights didn't really give any respect to AG here in the ban section. They really did not change their bans at all, left the Caitlyn up, and they could see the Caitlyn come back to hit them again here if they don't, play around it properly.
Yeah, Yasuo has played a lot of different AD carries this season. However, Caitlyn's not one of them, so he might pull it out here and just try to pick it away from them and allow himself to have that presence, but I don't see that happening just based on the pools he's showed. I believe this might just be a run back for Rip Harambe. They just might run back the Kate Volibear here.
Yeah, Kate Volibear Thresh, being very few core picks, very navigatable for the rest of the team, can really just opt into any sort of play style with them. The Ono locked into Thresh is an interesting choice considering the nature of the matchup Flay being such a strong tool at dealing with Leona is going to make it rather tough for her to stick to any target. It does look like AG is going to end up hovering the Kaisa, but gonna lock into that Caitlyn. Like you said, very, very powerful core set of picks for them. They can just kind of do what they want. Amumu going to be hovered. You know, we didn't really talk about it, but Coven Knights did opt into the Ziggs again. Probably going to end up going mid, but maybe they have something set up for their bot lane. I wouldn't hate Ziggs into Caitlyn, to be honest. He has the range to be able to deal with the Caitlyn. But it looks like they are going to lock Ashe in that bottom lane, give them a little bit more of an aggressive bot lane to try to shut down the side of AG this game.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was looking for from them. Just something that didn't allow the Caitlyn to just kind of sit behind a wave and auto the entire time. I don't know about the Ziggs here. They might ban Yasuo just so that he can have a little bit of a freer lane. But yeah, so at the same time, they might not ban the Yasuo. They might not have thought it was a problem. So I mean, he was.
I'm surprised. I can't believe they keep picking Ziggs into blind. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I just don't know. Also, there's another Rek'Sai ban on the board. Apparently, they don't like this champion.
I mean, Rek'Sai looks a little bit better with this comp, specifically due to all the pick potential that they have. But like you said, it's still not one of those, insane must-ban picks. It might be more tailored towards the playstyle of Coven Knights.
Amethyst, it must be a solo queue pick because looking at my sheet, Amethyst has one Rek'Sai game this season. They prefer the Nocturne Volibear, which they just banned their own champion in the jungle. So it'll be a new pick this season for Amethyst here.
Maybe we see the Hecarim. Hecarim would be a really strong pick with your team comp at the moment. Very good into Mumu and Thresh also. Gives them a little bit of backside access onto Caitlyn. Although Hecarim isn't really an easy to pilot champion, they are going to opt into Diana. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. It's a very feast or famine champion. You're either going in and winning or you're going in and losing. So
they do have that synergy between Leona and Diana, the star-crossed lovers, but Orianna is going to be locked in response. That is going to feel really bad if the ball gets onto the Mumu or the Thresh and they just kind of make their way into your backline, or the Jax at this point. Jax going to be locked in for AG Rip Harambe, and they are going to, opt into more of a engage-oriented game plan with the Caitlyn just kind of adding the pressure. Honestly, their comp looks very, very, potent in team fights and kind of brawl-esque situations.
Cassante,
you were talking about wanting the Cassante to come out here for sorry, not Downfall, it's for Koala.
It is for Koala. I personally don't like this matchup. I think Jax is one of the few champions that can bully Cassante in a melee matchup. Curious to see if he can pilot this well. Otherwise, he's just giving Jax a free lane, and Jax is not someone you want to give a free lane to, as the 2-item spike for Jax is one of the biggest 2-item spikes in the game.
Yeah, we might end up seeing, Diana play towards this top side, potentially use Snowball, Koala out of control. Kind of was looking like Koala was the main win condition in the previous game, but we will definitely see this should be an interesting matchup. That bot lane should turn into a little bit of a bloodbath, assuming both lanes are playing how they want to play, which is Thresh, fishing for hooks, and Ashe kind of just running down Caitlyn. Leona looking for those engages. It should be a very bloody game. everyone really just wanting to, scrap and brawl and look for kills and get gold leads and fight for objectives, and should see quite a bit of action in this game too.
Yeah, looking at the team that they've picked, you're gonna be feeling for Ashe and Ziggs, and then following Diana into battle if you're Leona. And Cassante is gonna be probably looking to flank a little bit, but at the same time looking to peel the Jax, trying to go in and assassinate the two carries.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you're a Cassante, you really want to, keep the ball away from the back line. So whoever the ball target is obviously going to be leading the charge, whether that's a Mumu or Jax. Either one can really be the ball carrier. And the second you see that, you're really going to want to pop that all out and just kind of remove them. Oh. A little bit of error in draft, potentially?
Yeah. Not sure what's going on here.
Interesting.
I don't think it was communicated in yeah, I was about to say I don't think it was communicated in lobby that there was a mispick. So we're gonna get a lovely. Well, so
all right, but yeah, I mean, this mid lane matchup is going to be very snooze fest. Ziggs, Orianna both really just kind of don't want to interact with each other very much. They both have damage, so they might lose HP. But I don't think either one really has kill pressure. But the main source of entertainment for this game is definitely going to be between the top and the bottom.
yeah, if Caitlyn gets ahead like she did last game, this game probably is gonna be another short one. But if they can keep it relatively even, it's just a good art. Like you're just gonna have a tanky Cassante that's gonna be able to block a lot of the Caitlyn and the Leona. So Caitlyn's not super ahead. You're gonna have to rely a lot on this Orianna Jax to do work.
Yeah, definitely. It is should be an interesting game as long as Coven Knights doesn't let them scale out of control. But I believe if nothing else needs to be said, I don't have anything to add, obviously. I'm not sure if you do.
And I'm okay.
I think that we will be going into intermission real quick as we wait for the game to start up. We will see you guys in just a moment. Welcome back to game number 2 of SNC Coven Knights versus AG Rip Harambe. After a pretty devastating game 1 for SNC Coven Knights, they are looking to come back and potentially, make the series 1-1 for them.
Yep. Looking for this top lane matchup. Staple of pro play all the way down to IBSG. It's gonna be an interesting one. See if the Jax can get a lead in this lane, or if he's going to suffer the early game. Fishing currently, we were talking about this while we were paused. Earning some gold for free.
Yeah, the big +1 that he just came out with is going to mean that he currently has the lead in this lane. Surely Cassante is, quaking in his boots, being down 3 gold.
I would like to mention they started Doran's Blade on Jax, which I'm a big Doran's fan shield regardless of the matchup. I think it's just the better item currently.
Yeah, I mean, it provides, a little bit more consistent stats. The AD really hinges on, if you actively look for trades and stuff. But we could see a Mumu look, level 2 on this top side. But the bot lane is going to end up going for a cheese and trading evenly with each other. Which, that feels good if you're the one getting cheese, not the one cheesing.
Yes.
Zig's going to be taking, his time, trading out with Orianna in lane, kind of just forcing her hand a little bit. Does look like AG is going to secure this level 2 first again, having the large amount of a lead on minions. And Perfect Build's going to look to find the hook onto Yasuo. It doesn't quite connect it there. And at level 2 is going to end up resulting in a little bit of vision control rather than a kill this time.
I will say in the jungle we do have 2 people clearing in opposite directions. So Diana looking to clear towards top side. Not sure if anything will be available. Mumu's just trying to make impact on this bot lane, which I think unless they can get them low enough to dive, is not going to result in anything.
Yeah, I mean they're Leona's pretty survivable. I mean, unless if Leona really overextends on a fight, then maybe they can look to move a Mumu in later into the fight. But yeah, this Diana going towards this top side could mean that Cassante gets a lead and just gets so far ahead that Jax doesn't really have an ability to respond to Cassante's early pressure.
Mumu is gonna not look to gank, taking the Krugs before red. So
which is interesting. Does he think that he's going to be contested on this bottom scuttle? Or...
he probably thinks so. Because normally you wouldn't path into the Cassante, but...
Interesting. Well, Diana's going to end up claiming this top scuttle for herself, having completed her clear before. And Thresh is going to look for a little bit of extra damage. Hits the Flay. Death Sentence does not quite connect. They do get quite a bit of HP off of Leona there. And a fight breaks out mid, and it looks like Ziggs is close to falling. He's going to have to use his flash, but gets autoed down by Orianna, taking that extra magic damage. That's going to be first blood for the side of AG Rip Harambe.
Oh, that's... Ziggs bombed her back into him, which is not what you want in that matchup.
Not at all. And I mean, we saw just how potent, the Thresh is into the Leona there. Just being able to, flay and completely, mess up and engage from Boogie.
Diana walking all the way bot side before deciding to reset, I think is very interesting.
Maybe she thought that she might be able to, catch the Mumu on that bottom scuttle, but she did show on vision. So they know that she was down there. Even so, Leona's going to attempt an engage. Hits the stun onto the Thresh. Doesn't really get much else, though.
Yeah, not enough men to really do anything there. I think both these bot lanes are just looking to reset.
Yeah, realistically, you're going to want to have access to the dragons as early as possible if you're either team. Your split isn't amazing for the side of AG. Like, Jax can get a good amount of value out of it, but you don't really want to have your team super split. Diana's looking on his bots that just kind of shows pressure and forces them off the wave. Potentially sets up a freeze for her bot lane here. If Yasuo and Boogie can get a recall in on a freeze, that would be very, very good for them. But it doesn't look like they were able to hold the wave for long enough.
No, they're gonna push this out, which
They don't have the damage for that. They're going to be late on their recall. Which means it's very possible that, you know, AG gets priority on one of these objectives. Briar already moving to take away those Raptors from Amethyst, punish a little bit of a show from bot lane, and moves into the grubs here with the mid prow that they have.
I believe SNC has set themselves up in a really not great wave state.
Yeah, especially to, you know, be breaking out a fight with a pre-level 6 Diana trying to fight a Mumu here. It's not the first move over Jax, though, so potentially this fight does go in their favor. Diana securing one of those grubs is going to dissuade any potential fights for alternative ones. Jax just getting a little bit of damage out onto Diana, potentially, you know, forcing her out of whatever invade that she wanted to look for there. But yeah, I mean, you're not upset if you get that one grub for the side of SNC.
Ziggs is out of mana here, so he's gonna need a jungle push out soon, or he's just gonna get bullied by this Orianna.
Potential fight breaks on the bot lane. The Flay is able to stop the engage. Kaylin gets a good amount of burst onto both targets there. With the Death Sentence connecting on Leona and the trap hitting the Ashe. Going to hurt quite a bit for SNC's bot lane. But yeah, we're already seeing a little bit of a farm differential in that bottom side. Caitlyn almost up 20 CS means that she's going to end up being up another 400 gold here in this matchup. Shockwave goes out in the middle lane. Ziggs going to have to blast back out. You know, Shockwave no longer available for Orianna, but has Ziggs a low enough HP with no TP and gets the crash here. That is going to end up securing the dragon for them on the bot side for SNC. Or not SNC, sorry, for AG.
You just gotta look at the item difference here if you're Ashe. Caitlyn currently has a
potential fight gonna break on the bot side. Thresh really connecting it. The bandage toss gonna hit from the Amumu. Curse of Stab Mummy's gonna connect Leona, and the Ignite's gonna end up picking up that kill. Caitlyn does have access to this ace in the hole. It's gonna hit onto Ashe, secures the kill. The fight's gonna break out on the top side that we weren't able to watch. Jack's gonna end up being able to pick up the kill onto the Cassandra there. The trap and the Death Sentence is gonna hit the Diana, and that's gonna be, what, 3-4 kills for the side of
It was 4 kills, yes.
AG? Wow, that shifted very quick.
I believe Ziggs also died in the mid lane.
Oh, he did. So 5 kills.
5 kills. So, yeah, this game's already looking really rough for SNC. The Cassante hoping to win at least early into the Jax is not getting that accomplished here.
Not at all. We're now looking at a 4K gold differential for this side of AG, which this early in the game you do not want to see happening, especially on a team that scales as well as Rip Harambe does.
Yeah, we're gonna get to a point where this Jax is just gonna be virtually unkillable by anyone in the game. Up a little less than 20 CS, a kill now. He's going to be hitting his item spike very soon.
They reworked Yuntal, right? And Keelan ended up building into it. Do you know how the first passive works? Because it's like on attack, gain plus 20% critical strike chance permanently up to 25%.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure exactly how it works. I have a friend that is a Caitlyn one trick, and they seem to like it. So I think it's a fine build.
I'm just wondering, is it like infinite scaling, or what exactly happens? Because obviously the stat isn't on the item itself. So is it like it scales off of more crit percentage, or?
I believe that's how it works.
Interesting. They did not do a great job of writing that tooltip, I'm not gonna lie. But we will certainly see. Jax downfall opting into a very aggressive trade with Exante, getting a sizable portion of his HP down. Diana and Amumu both on the top side here. Jax already has enough damage down onto Exante here. He's going to pop the Grandmaster at arms. Moonfall's going to go down. Jax aggressively flashing into Exante. They end up confirming that kill. Don't Eat Bees is already on this top side, though, for these grubs. And that might end up being 5 grubs for the side of AG.
Yeah, they were able to bail out the Exante there, which is good. But the lead is still mounting for Jax, even with that death. He does get a little bit of closing gold, and Casante's going to hit his first item spike before Jax is going to hit it, even if he's down NCS.
So disconnects on Ashe. A little bit of damage goes down. That's going to be Solar Flare going down as well. Thresh looking for the play. Connects it. Box goes down on Leona. That shield is going to end up running out from Leona. Caitlyn just going to get a little bit more damage in. Ace in the hole goes down. Doesn't have the block for that, and is going to end up falling to AG Major there.
Yeah, I mean, this bot lane is just, you have attack speed boots to an entire Yuntal. You can't really walk up if you're Ashe ever at this point. Caitlyn should get this entire tower here.
And I mean, that is going to be a very large amount of gold in the bot lane. Well over, almost 2,000 now, actually. Gold differential. Another 5 breaks on the top side. The counter strike not really big enough. 5 breaks on a mid too. Orianna is going to end up falling to that Zig, giving over the shutdown gold, but Jax is looking for some sort of constellation prize on this top side.
And Jax needs to be very careful. Just, if you don't understand Cassante, you can get just swept under tower with instantly, basically. So he needs to be careful the more aggressive he plays this as Cassante gets towards his side of the lane.
Yeah, I mean, Cassante really just has him where he wants him, but Jax does have a very sizable CS lead. Well over, almost 40 CS now. He's going to feel very good.
Sunday getting the bulk of that wave, but still just down so much at this point.
Yeah, I mean, huge amount of gold differential in this game so far. About 4.3 thousand gold. Going into this dragon fight is going to end up being kind of a dragon that they are going to end up having to fight over. But if you are SNC Coven Knights, you don't want to fight this. This just isn't, fightable. Moonfall is going to come out from Diana, flash from Orianna. Bandage Toss doesn't quite connect onto Amethyst there. But a fight does break out in the mid lane. Ziggs being forced to use Blast Pack off of the Thresh. The key cooldown of Moonfall is not available anymore. And all you got was Orianna's flash for it, which Orianna could just position a little bit more defensively. The Death Sentence is going to hit on the Ashe. Ashe is going to end up burning a flash. Leona's going to look on the re-engage on the Thresh off the box. Diana, having no ult available, is just going to end up going very aggressive here. Death Sentence ends up connecting. The Inferno Bomb is going to connect onto the Orianna, resulting in a 1-for-1 trade. Bot lane just, looking for the kill on the Leona there. He's not going to find it, but is going to end up burning the flash off of Boogie there. And that is going to end up being a 1-for-1 and probably Dragon for the side of AG.
Yeah, not a great fight burning the the Diana ult right out of the gate. Unless you know you can burst that target down before the fight starts. Cassandra took a bad back also while that was happening, and managed to lose 2 tower plates to the Jax in that time period. So the gold league increasing even on the weak side of the map for Harambe.
Yeah, I mean, this recall didn't even result in a full item for Koala here. If it was a full item, you can make the argument that, basing, getting the full item, and being there for that Herald that's up right now would be the right play. But Jax was just going to, extend his pressure a little bit, force out the shield there. Diana looking for the aggressive engage onto Orianna. Showing on this bot side right now is going to, Shockwave's going to go out. Moonfall on the wave is not going to result in any CS or kills or anything. Yeah, I mean, your jungler's dead. Moonfall used.
I think I would have liked to see this Cassandre be a little bit more aggressive in this matchup.
Hey, he did seem fairly passive. Maybe it's just a little bit of afraid of Downfall at the moment, which he really shouldn't be, considering that I think Koala and Downfall are very similar players in terms of skill.
Yeah, I think this in this matchup you can afford to be aggressive playing a tank that has such good mobility and CC into a Jax.
But yeah, not much your top matchup can do when your Diana loses the 1v1 to Orianna and Ballin. While Harold's up, so that is going to feel very rough giving that Herald as early as they did.
Sante does have.
Sante, oh, go ahead.
Does have the Iceborne Gauntlets now, which is gonna make trading a little easier for him. But Jax having that Triforce is just gonna make it a lot harder to keep himself safe.
Another fight begin on the bot side. The Moonfall's gonna go down. The Inferno Bomb's gonna also connect. Took two of them, but they finally got that Orianna out of that side lane. Fight breaks out in the mid as well. Ashe is trying to get the damage down. Box goes down to make a little bit of space. Solar Flare is already used, so no more engage. Is just going to result in HP getting traded, and I mean that's going to be a good play for the side of SNC there. They did end up, finding a kill onto the Orianna on the side lane. Finally, after so much effort by Amethyst.
They should get this tower too.
They finally get to equalize the turret lead. I mean, although Harambe is going to end up finding this tower in the mid lane. Box is down, has been expended. They have Diana on a flank. They might be looking for a fight to break out here. Downfall already having that early rotate. They are going to look to try to catch out Amethyst here. Bandage Toss doesn't quite connect, but they do find Downfall in the middle lane. Ends up landing a little bit of CC. Death Sentence doesn't quite find its mark. All four members of both teams are here. Mid laner's not quite at the fights yet, but Geb is making his way very quickly towards this middle wave. We could see a potential large-scale teamfight breakout.
Yeah, I think you're gonna need to get a little bit more poke out if you're wanting to engage on the side of SNC Coven Knights before you take anything big. Which I think right now with the Caitlyn has Flash. If you're looking to contest this next Dragon, I think a mission you should be trying to accomplish is getting this Caitlyn Flash. Which
they might be able to get here. They do get the cleanse, which is arguably just as good. They weren't going to have any way to dodge any CC anymore. Dragon still has a minute timer on it. By that time, Solar Flare should be back up. I think if we're SNC, we now want to get this bottom wave shoved in and potentially move Ziggs towards the top side of this map. And we work Asante a little bit closer to this fight.
Yeah, if they can get that done, this Dragon should be contestable. They need to definitely look for the Caitlyn in this fight, being 3-0-2 with a BF sword and Yuntal.
In theory, it should be very doable with, Moonfall, Solar Flare, Shady Crystal Arrow, and Inferno Bomb all being available to them. It's possible. It's very possible that they're able to find this.
Yeah. Jax being in this fight, if they can mark the Jax too, if he's going to try to flank.
Oh, perfect build might be caught here. Ends up hitting the Death Sentence onto the Leona there. Moonfall does come out, finding the pick on a perfect build. A little bit of damage from the side of Coven Knights here. Is going to find the Curse of the Sad Mummy is going to connect with 3, Shockwave connects with 4. And that is going to be a huge turnaround for the side of Harambe. They're going to try to go all out, but I mean, all out just isn't enough. So they get flashed on.
Shockwave.
Yeah, that's gonna feel real good if you're hitting, that large of an ability.
Yeah, that fight, it did look good at the very beginning for SNC Coven Knights, but they just kind of got wallet diffed halfway through the fight. I mean, the Orianna ult did a lot of work in the fight, but it just it turned because they just didn't have the damage to finish anybody off before they could throw their loadout. So now the gold lead is going to be close to edging up to that 10k mark for Harambe.
Yeah, it looked so good, but you're right. They just didn't have, the stats. They didn't have enough damage to be able to, confirm any kills, especially not with Diana, having only the Nashor's Teeth. And Ziggs, isn't going to really be able to get through their tanks as fast as he would like. Yeah, that doesn't feel good. Potential fight breaking on this jungle, though. Ashe is going to have first move here. Amumu's really low. Moonfall goes out. That is going to be shutdown gold onto Diana. Not entirely sure what Briar was doing. Didn't have any backup either.
Did get the blue buff.
But the Herald is not going to get used in time and is going to go down in spawn. She's gonna waddle her way down mid.
Boogie is in a bad spot here.
Boogie is going to be appearing to be caught. Boxes ends up getting used. Grandmaster at Arms is also going to get used. Death Sentence lands on the Ashe, and that is going to be lethal. At least, you know, losing your flash is going to be not feeling great. Enchanted Crystal Arrow, you know, barely misses target. Yasuo walks back up and ends up dying to the Jax there. Death Sentence is not going to be enough to save the Jax either. Perfect Build is going to look to try to find the Diana. Doesn't quite find it. They do end up getting the block on the Ace in the Hole. And overall, I mean...
That was a positive fight for Coven Knights there.
Yeah, it does not feel bad. Claiming a couple of those larger scale bannies is going to feel pretty good.
I think the Rift Herald did end up getting a charge through all that
Oh.
on the mid lane tower.
How? Oh my god, and they're going to be getting the spot there too.
Yeah, Orianna takes these pretty fast. She does not have bad auto attack speed, so...
Oh, especially having that, you know, bonus auto attack damage with their passive.
Yeah.
Lots of damage. And I mean, Jax has already got his recall. He has 2 items. He's going to go in on the Cassante here. Cassante's going to miss the knockup, so Jax is just going to walk him down. And I mean, if you're Cassante here, they don't really have any choices. You're just going to have to take it. And,
Yeah, this is the point I was talking about. 2-item Jax is just one of the scariest item spikes in the game. You just become a menace. And people really, like, you can't really contest anything when
they don't have the bodies to contest this Baron either. They're going to try to TP Ziggs in, but Diana's on the wrong side of the map at the moment.
Ziggs is going to die to the Jax if he's not careful.
Yep, and there he goes. Grandmaster at Arms ends up getting used. And, yep, there goes Ziggs. He's very gone. And they made it to the fight now, but Jax is still very much so a potent frontline. Shockwave on the backline there. Moonfall's gonna go down. Solar Flare is gonna get used, and
The Baron is gonna kill Caitlyn. It's gonna reset.
It reset. Oh, that is you know, that is not a play I would expect from AG Ripper Harambe there to just kind of.
No, I think you just gotta stop hitting it and take the fight. If you're AG Rip Harambe, they kind of just kept autoing it with Caitlyn and a
Oh my god!
Whoa. That was quite the kill.
Yeah, I mean that he is not alive anymore. He is very much so gone. Yeah, I mean even so, even after losing Yasuo there to the Shockwave, I don't even think it was Shockwave. I think it was just QW.
It was just QW, yes.
But,
QW Storm Surge.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys are still fine if you're SNC Coven Knights. You got them off the Baron. You made Caitlyn die. You didn't get the bounty, unfortunately, but you got them off the Baron, which is good.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before they go at it again. This dragon's gonna be spawning in 40 seconds, and
It's Soul.
It is Soul. So I think if you're SNC Coven Knights here, you're gonna be wanting to look for a pick on this Orianna specifically, or the Caitlyn. Jax is gonna be very hard to pick off without expending a lot of resources.
I mean, I think it's just kind of on Leona and Ziggs to keep this Jax away from the Ashe and just kind of let Ashe do her job. But even Ashe isn't strong enough at the moment to really do anything. So I don't think they can contest this. They have to contest it, but I don't think they can. And yeah, the Infernal Soul is not going to feel good when you're dealing with like Orianna, who's already one-shotting your backline, Mumu and Jax and Caitlyn, all these high damage champions with the Infernal Soul.
Orianna's not at this. Ariana's teleporting on a
Yeah,
flank
we're gonna find a
forward.
flank TP here. That's gonna be Death Sentence onto Diana. You know, high octane target. Infernal Bomb's gonna connect. Fight's just gonna break out. That is gonna be a huge ball in the backline, resulting in kills. And yeah, this fight is gonna slowly spiral out of control for the side of SNC, and they are going to end up falling, only claiming 1 life on the support in the process. And yeah, I mean, that is exactly what you would expect from this amount of gold difference. Now slotting themselves 10k gold ahead. AG Harambe is in a very, you know, dominant lead, very controlling position in this game.
The Orianna is just blowing people up at this point. That was ridiculous to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it is very clear to see, who the better team is right now. And Coven Knights is going to have a very tough time with the rest of this game and honestly the rest of the season.
Yeah, and the AG looking to close this one out here. They should just reset and go towards Baron.
Which they might honestly get a fight started, or at least the Coven Knights is looking to start a fight before they're able to, reset and get their golden items on board. Coven Knights rotating in the top side here. Diana going into a little bit of uncontested space, walks straight into the Mumu, goes for the engage, but doesn't get punished for it. I think they could have looked to fight there, to be honest. They could have killed Diana. But they're going to end up taking, a safe base, get their reset, get their gold spent, get it on board, and potentially look for this Baron to close out the game. They do have the Orion on the bot side without TP, which means that if she stays down here, she won't be able to make it to the objective in a very timely manner. But it does look like
they're going to be looking for a pick here.
He's going to look on this bot side. They have ultimates available. They find the full combo on Oriana. That's going to be Moonfall as well, and that is going to be Inferno Bomb onto the Oriana, and that is going to be a kill. And shutdown gold to Ziggs. Lots of it, too, but AG Rip Harambe is going to respond by taking pressure off of the mid lane. And realistically, if a fight breaks out at this moment, they are down that 2 of their key cooldowns. Asante going to be a little bit overextended, gets hit by the Death Sentence, stunned by the Counter-Strike. Box goes down to, make a little bit of space. TP from Ziggs in an attempt to, make a... They don't block the ace in the hole, and Caitlyn ends up finding the kill onto Diana there, and I don't see any options for SNC Coven Knights as Downfall,
He's just running them down.
Proving to be his namesake and ends up becoming Coven Knights, Downfall. That is going to be the game slowly slipping out of their hands, and as the Nexus Towers fall, the game comes to a close, and it looks like AG Harambe is going to take this series in a swift 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, very clean games from AG Harambe. It couldn't have gone any better, if you ask me. Everything they wanted to happened. They won their bot lane hard with this Caitlyn Thresh combo. Mid lane won both lanes. Jungle participated, had a really good stat line, 1 and 13 in the second game. I don't remember the first game. And then top lane got ahead of the Cassante, which is what you have to do if you're in that Jax matchup. And after Jax got ahead in that matchup, it becomes unplayable for Cassante.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have any ability to really respond to Jax at all across their team. They kind of just had to deal with it as it came, and oh boy, was he there. And Downfall really delivered in that second game.
Yes. I think.
Go ahead.
I think honestly, the Caitlyn was really strong in both games, but I just the flashy Orion on balls were just I think the best part of this one.
That soul fight was definitely exactly what you'd like to see from Dodie Bees on the flank. And I think we're gonna have an interview from the winning team here, from AG Rip Harambe, in just a moment. As far as yeah, I mean, I feel like this outcome was to be expected. Coven Knights now has an 0-6 record. I don't know if they can make playoffs anymore.
Yeah, I think there's a world where they still can, but it's a very hard world.
The world is hard indeed.
Not in a very optimal spot. Looking at their next sets, they're gonna have HRH, Dreamers, and DP Hellfire, which I think 2 of those games I think they can win for sure. Two of those games. I think the Hellfire matchup is going to be a tough one for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like they're going to be in a similar spot where they're playing against another top team. Um, and yeah, I mean, although on the contrary, uh, AJ Harambe coming off of this is now going to be 4-2. I don't know if that secures them a spot in playoffs, but it definitely does make their job a little bit easier.
Yes, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't think it quite secures their spot. It's gonna bring them to four. I believe you already said this. 4-2. With a, if this is updated, I'm assuming it is. Fifi updated it. It's gonna bet them at 8-5 with a 4-2 game score.
All right, so I think we have our interview here right now. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, what's up? What's up? What's up? I am the support, perfect build.
All right, welcome. You just came off the back of a quick 2-0. Obviously, it wasn't your most difficult week, but the hooks were there. Like you were hitting some very, very important death sentences and securing the kills and snowballing your ADC out of control. What do you think? At what point in both games did you really feel like, yeah, we've got this? Like this game's in the bag.
Um, we went into it pretty confident. We had a really good game plan from our coach, and I don't get to play Thresh very often. It usually gets banned every game, so that's why we just first picked it each game because it's a great opportunity for us. It's one of the best champions, I think, for the support role. Um, yeah, top to bottom, I think we just had a great plan. We executed on it. We knew exactly what we wanted to do going into it, and we played our game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you guys have been doing very well throughout the season, and I'm sure coming off of this set, you guys are feeling very strong, and I think you guys should be feeling very strong, especially in your bot lane, right? You guys had very dominant laning phases, and you just extended your pressure super well, and were able to, secure early towers super early in the game. And I'm just curious what your thoughts are going into the rest of the season and how you feel, coming out of this series.
Uh, Feel pretty good. Don't wanna hype it up too much. Don't wanna get banned out or anything. But I feel pretty good. I think our plan is gonna shift from game to game. We have some pretty good ideas going forward. So each game's gonna be a little bit different than the last. Try to keep everybody on their toes. Um, we started off a little rougher than we wanted to this split, but we've really kind of found our footing. So I I expect it to just keep going our way.
Yeah, I mean, very, very good recovery from you guys coming into the later half of the season. Um, I'll go ahead and let Coinflip ask any questions that he has right now.
What was more impressive, your Caitlyn's one-shotting people or your Oriana one-shotting people?
Ooh. I think I'm gonna give it to the Oriana because I set the Caitlyn up, so I'm gonna take credit for all of Caitlyn's kills. But I definitely think the Oriana plays were absolutely massive. They turned around a couple of those fights that could have definitely not gone our way.
Yeah. That flank in the soul fight in game 2 was very, very explosive from the Oriana. I think she popped 2 people from 60% health at least.
Yeah, it
Um,
was nuts.
yeah. Looking forward from this game, you guys play Rat Tactics next week. Who do you think is going to be able? Who do you think is going to take that matchup?
I think we take that one. Obviously, but I think that one could go 2-1, maybe not a 2-0, but yeah, we'll hope for the 2-0. But I definitely am gonna lean on our side, of course.
Yeah, I could see it going either way. I think it is going to be a close series. Who do you think the biggest carry player on your team is? Because it seemed like all 3 of your major carry roles showed out in both games today.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing with our team right now is we're kind of in a place where anyone can carry any game. Right? Like, there's not just it's not a team where you shut down one person and that's our game plan. Game's over. You know, we're able to adjust to where if mid lane isn't having the best game, top can step in. If mid and top aren't having the best game, bot can try to roll it. Like we're able to kind of shift around. If I had to pick just one person that's most consistent, would probably be mid lane. I think consistently Bees is one of the better players in the league, but like I said, it's we have the right people in the right places where we can adjust if we need to.
Yeah, that is always good to have, being able to play through every single role and function well. A question from, I believe it is one of your teammates asking this question. Why are you so cracked even though you play with an average team with a slightly above average mid?
I am definitely not cracked. I think my player ranking in here is like the 10th support, so I got some ground to cover. I'm stepping into it a little bit. Kind of getting my footing a little bit. I'm definitely not the most cracked on the team though.
Yeah, I mean, what does that guy Phoebe know anyways? He just likes to put people at the bottom.
It's all right. It's my fuel. It motivates me. You can keep me at 10. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely showed up tonight, so I would not feel too terrible considering your performance. Assuming that you go into the rest of the games with the same mentality and the same momentum that you had from tonight, I think you guys will do fine. You guys have definitely come a long way from the earlier weeks in the series and have definitely stepped up and shown that you deserve to be here and deserve a spot in playoffs.
Appreciate it.
But assuming CoinFlip has no other questions, we appreciate you coming out here and spending your time and answering some of the questions that we had. And once again, amazing game from you guys tonight. Very, very decisive. And
I do have one more question.
go ahead.
Who do you think will be the fourth team to make playoffs in the West?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm about to pull it up. Who's it between right now as far as the bottoms?
Hyperion Retirement Home, Elysian Esports Beach House, SNC Dreamers, and I'm not sure if Coven Knights is out yet, but Coven Knights.
You said Hyperion, right?
Yeah, Hyperion, Dreamers, Elysian.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Hyperion, just because I know they're jungler, and I think that he brings a lot to that team, and I think that he can carry him through.
Alrighty.
All right. Thank you so much for coming out. Perfect. Amazing game tonight. We appreciate you coming out and answering our questions. And we wish you the best of luck in your next series for next week.
Thank you, appreciate it. Shout out my boy Harambe, RIP.
All right. Thank you guys for all coming to watch the stream. That will conclude our interview for tonight. A swift 2-0 victory for the side of AG Rip Harambe. We will see you guys all in the next stream. Have a good night, everybody.